Hi, Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services. How's everyone doing? We're going to our next viewer request. Your Name by Javonta Patterson. Got a chance to listen to the song. This is going to be a quick one because the song really doesn't give you the gospel vibe sound. Key of E flat is where this song is found. So we're going to give you again for our musicians. We never know their skill level, so we always want to give you the approach from a musician that has had at least 5 years of practice, which means that you are familiar with the scales in the key that you're going to be learning the song in and fluent enough in both hands to be able to play through that scale. Now, I know I watch all the YouTube videos from other content creators, and they talk about the scale as not being important. Know the number system. I never learned the number system. So my concept will always be based off of the piano theory of the scales. Of course, the number system is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1, or I call it octave 8 since we started from the bottom. And your hands should know how to navigate through those chords. So, in listening to the song, I'm going to play some of it in the video because there's not a lot of chords. They work off the flat 7, which is kind of a R and B chord. You're going to hear this chord. Let me see. There it is. You're going to hear this chord, this chord. Let me see. That's the chord I wanted. And if you look at this chord, it is a D major flat 9. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's our flat note with built around this chord, and the melody is within the scale. That's our scale. Our melody is in the major scale, but our bass note goes to that flat chord or that flat note, flat 7, to give us this chord. That is probably 80% of the chords. Again, shortening the chord down. If I was going to fill the chord out, it would be here. So it's somewhat CCM. Get that correct out. CCM in its use of basically 3 chords. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 chords. So 4 chords is primarily how this song is built on. Let's see if we can air some of it. Can't air too much because I have been getting those notifications. Here we go.
Great and mighty, great and mighty, how wonderful is your name. You are great and mighty, great and mighty, how wonderful is your name. Can you say it?
So I'm going to stop right there. I played over it to make sure that I can defeat the YouTube listening algorithm or the AI. So, oh, that is really low. Now, this is why I stress practicing scales, because you want to find your melody so that you can assign the correct chords. This singer is in that lower male or baritone range for the beginning of the song. Of course, when they bring in the other singers, they go a little higher. So again, 80% of your chords is those 4 chords. You see what Uh, you see the chord names as I'm playing them: D flat major 7, an A flat, a C minor, and a B flat. So that is the beginner's take on it. So now we look to see if we can help you build on that from what we can hear. Because I always like to be able to play what I hear in the album, so I can feel like I was there in the live recording. So let's listen a little more as they begin to build.
You are great and mighty, great and mighty. How wonderful.
So they're down in this range. Now, if you want to be down in this range, you can, again, the melody scales. That's where you can sort of improv. Come up a little higher. I'm still in the scales. And what is my left hand doing? It is filling out the lowest note, which is the number system, and support chords. Let me see, there's a chord in there I want to give you that I hear.
Is your name. You got it. You
This chord I heard in the plate. And this chord is found where? Right in the scales, which is why I talk to the number system. I don't teach or instruct in it. For those who still use the number system, it's a great way to get a head up on what the bass chords are. But if you want to hear what the musicians are doing, you're going to have to know what notes where they're getting their notes from. Let's listen a little more.
are great and mighty.
So I can hear that they're still in that flat 7, but now they're moving the chords out more into the R&B field. But having this bass change, of course, as your skill set grows, you know how to arpeggiate. And that is mainly locking your fingers, lifting, fingers still locked, and drop. Lock them in place. Muscle memory does this. just adding some chords that are not there, but because they are within reach, the alternative chords. Let's listen to see something new that they might be, excuse me, something new they might be doing.
Great and mighty, how wonderful. I got another verse.
Those are passing tones. Passing tones, drop two to the four. Passing tones, or I did an entire series on the circle of fourths and the circle of fifths. That's all they're using. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just giving you some alternative chords so that you don't get locked into just playing these same chords. Let me see. That chord is in the D flat major scale. I just showed you that. This chord, believe it or not, is in the D flat major scale and in the E flat major scale. Here it is in E flat and in D flat. That's why I often say if you practice the scales in every key, you're going to find that you're playing the same notes. You're just moving them positioned differently to bring about a particular sound. Let me go a little forward in the song. But again, these chords are pretty much the same all the way through. So now we've got 3-part harmony. Three-part harmony will give you another set of chords that you don't necessarily have to play the notes behind them, but to know that those chords are there, you can now bridge off of them. Let's see. I want to give you that key. Okay, let me hear what they're doing in there for a different change to get that. So they can really go down. Keep it simple. So it's a straight G. Let me just listen for some. I'm trying to give some more chords because you can get locked into these chords. All you're doing is playing them a lot fuller and a lot louder. In most cases, you may be the one or two musicians learning this song. Okay. basically going from the 1 to the flat 7. 1. And yes, the C minor scale, if you start on E flat, it's also the E flat major scale. That's why they are basically cousins to each other, because they use the same note. It's just where you start. C minor, E flat major. So you can borrow the same chords. I want to give you another chord for that before you get to the 6th. Because it goes straight there. Okay, let me see. 1, flat 7, 4, 3, 6. Now I can give you the 7, but the 5 is in there, just to give you a different change. Give you some full chords. So what you got? The F minor, E flat major, F minor, E flat major with a D flat or flat 7. If you want to go tritone. And it's got to be a C minor to get the full effect of the chord. Or you could go here. No, that note's going to throw off the chord. Again, CCM does have rules. Unlike gospel, that has no rules. Whatever you feel like playing at the time. Let's go a little further. Let's see if there's something more we can add or pull from the recording. All right, so there is some bass movement. So you have some movement of the bass, which again is basically picking a scale that's going to lead you to where the chords are going to be. If you know it's going to go from the flat 7 to the 4, you be in the flat 7, bum, 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 to the 6. All right, I don't think there's any more chords that I can give you that's on this for this song. Again, it just gets a lot bigger with the sound, but the chords are pretty much in the same vein. Let's see what else I can listen to. Well, near the end of the actual video that I'm using. Okay, so let me hear what those chords are, so I don't leave you in a drought. That note is there. that F is there and just listen. Again, down the scales, just so that you know that you can hear the. For me, you can hear 85% of the chords if they're using the major scale as their root scale to work from. The rest is just any other note that's not in the scale, like that flat seven. It's only a half a step away from the scale, plus or minus. You'll be able to hear that if you practice scales chromatically. All right, I think I'm pretty much done. Let's see where the end is. Okay, so again, the chords are all pretty much the same. It's placement around the vocals. All right, I think that's going to make it up for this breakdown. Santober Sound of Joy Music Services. Hope you're enjoying these breakdowns. And we're also always looking out for our viewers who do support this channel with their viewership. We ask that you please share these channels with as many people as you can. Our views are kind of down. And again, I don't like to beg, but I will ask that you do support by sharing this channel with others so that they can also learn and request a song that we could break down for them that they may be having need assistance with. As always, don't forget to